Hello again and thanks for joining. So today we've got another model that I got from Model Rail Scotland, and Ellis Clark is to blame again. This is obviously a Lima kind of bubble car, British Railways DMU, and it's by Lima, and it's old school Lima, not the ones that have been made in China. So anything could go with this one. But let's buckle up and look at this in a bit more detail. So this model has been modified by the previous owner, and it actually looks pretty good. I think they've done a really good job overall. The obvious thing is that they've cut off the couplings on this model, which would be integral into the bogie here, and that's allowed them to fit some little jumper wires into here, which they've added in as metal pieces. These have got great character with the exhaust stacks up the front of one end of the carriage, and it's been numbered 121034. I don't think that's actually factory because it looks quite large and also very bright, and you'll see that the lights have also had a bit of paint added into them. This one has a destination board of Lanark on this end, and this end it says Falkirk. Now there isn't a route between Lanark and Falkirk. There might have been in the past, but there isn't anymore. I think the previous owner has also done this black around the windows here to hide the window frame because it's not flush fit glazing, and they've done a really good job of that. They might have even repainted the front here as well. The side of this locomotive has got really quite nice details in terms of having this window open at the driver's door here, and even these little no smoking signs on each of the windows. There's a lot of doors along the length of this DMU, and they've got good deep relief on them. I'm now saying that this bit here is indicative of maybe some glue that's been spilt on the roof, so that's a bit of a shame. I don't know why that would have had glue spilt on it. Now the handrails have been picked out here with paint, that some of that has worn off, and as we get down to this end of the DMU, you can see this window here has been, I think, fitted with an aftermarket piece of plastic which has got a bit of frosting on it. That's intentional, I guess, and also to hide the motor which is inside there. But you can see the transfer here has had a bit of a hard life and it's getting worn away. But what is nice is that the windows are very clear. You can see that the instrument panel in there, I think the previous owners actually picked out those instruments in different colours, which is really cool. We've got the overhead flash for the electrics, a little transfer here, and we've got some windscreen wipers integral into the plastic as well. The numbers up here on the number board, it looks like it's just a sticker that's been added on. And down below, the chassis and the bogies look as though they've been painted this brown colour, and some parts have been picked out, like the exhaust here in a different colour of brown, and some of these boxes in gunmetal. It actually looks quite a good modification here, and that continues to the bogie. This one here is the pickup one, and it looks as though a different piece of metal has been added in here to increase the pickup performance. But it does have this red wire going up inside the body there, which is very obvious. That could have been painted black, I think. This end is where the motor is, and you can actually see it. There's a lot of space between this bogie and the body, which is very indicative of Lima models of this age, and you can see that some wiring has also been done there in a little red wire which hasn't been painted black either. The wheels are this nice gold kind of colour. It's a bit unusual. I'm not seeing models like that. They're usually gunmetal or bright silver, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And you can see that the interior is very easily seen through these windows, even though they're getting a bit opaque now, possibly with age. So it's quite an interesting model, and it has some really quite good modifications on it as well. I think the previous owner has done really well in modifying this model, but I think we should give this a go on the test track. I'm not holding out much hope for it because it is a very old Lima model, but let's see how we go. So as usual, just some old Hornby track and my H&M controller. Let's give it some power and see what happens. Well, I completely didn't expect that. It actually runs really good, very smooth, and it can go really slow as well. I'm really quite astonished. I think it's testament to the previous owner who maybe did that wiring and just really improved it as well. It is very noisy though. That's to be expected, I guess, from old Lima models, and I think it's actually quite prototypical for this particular DMU. Anyway, let's put this on the scales and we'll see how much it weighs. So this model weighs 273 grams. So hasn't this been surprising? For an old Lima model, this is actually really good. There are some clear limitations, like the distance between the bogies and the body, the fact it's got the wires visible, it doesn't have flush fit glazing, and this particular one has got some glue on the roof, but it has bags of character, this model, and it has some really good modifications from the previous owner as well. It's starting to show its age a little bit with some of the paint and transfers getting worn off, but they can be easily renewed, and I'm really quite surprised how well this ran on the test track. So it set me back £15, and I think that's a great price for this model. It's 00 scale, and sometimes you don't have the space to put in a big layout, but models like these are perfect for smaller layouts if you wanted to run some passenger services. And cheaper older models like this offer the modeler something that they can change if they want to and not worry about how much it's going to cost if they just make a mess of it. But this one represents a good example where a few small modifications have really enhanced this model and made it something that you could add to your collection and happily run for many years. So let me know what you thought about my analysis of this model in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I always say that, but thanks very much. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around, and on screen in a minute there'll be a link to another video. If you click that, you can watch that and I'll see you there. But that's it for this one. See ya.